Well, hello everyone. My name is Daniel McCrane. I'm a business and marketing strategist with McCrane Associates. I help businesses just like yours find thousands of dollars of revenue and profit without spending money on marketing or advertising. I am broadcasting live today. I was going to try to do a webinar, and few people have signed up. And apparently, I did not send out a link for people to join on that webinar. So hopefully, those who got signed up are finding this live. In fact, while I'm live here, I am going to go ahead and try to send an email to everyone to let them know that we're doing this live this way instead. So while you're watching this, I am sending this out to people. So this is all live, everybody. So the plan today was to talk a little bit about how to generate all the business that you can handle without spending money on marketing or advertising, even in a crisis. And so, for those of you who had registered for this, if you're finding this right now, my apologies for not sending the link to you. So, I'm sending you an email right now. Typing this up right now. Okay. And apologize for the spelling since I'm getting this sent out really, really fast. So let me go ahead and get some things started here with today's presentation. And I will share with you some thoughts that I had today about how to get all the business you can handle, even in a crisis, just like this. So bear with me as I get things set up. I'm going to share my screen here because I've got some information that I want to share with you today. Okay, so we'll kick things off. All right, so if you're watching this right now, then I just want to share with you that I'm really glad that you are interested in taking action to make your business as good as it can be. Well, I want to ask you then, for anyone who happens to be watching this right now, who here would like to have more money in the future than they've had in the past? And who here wants to have more happiness in the future than they've had in the past? Also, who here wants to be more successful in the future than they have been in the past? Well, my name is Daniel McCrane with McCrane Associates, and that's what we do. Now, friends, if you're listening to this, you're probably just like me. As we're going through information today, you're probably going to have a lot of questions that are going to come up. I only have a limited amount of time to get through this webinar today, and I can't possibly squeeze everything in. So certainly if you do have questions, feel free to type those in the chat. I'm happy to address questions. I'll get to questions at the end. You can always reach out to me at the end too if you have any additional questions. But I want to let you know right now, I certainly don't want to waste your time today. I want to let you know why you should probably consider listening to me today for this webinar. So you might want to consider listening today if you make your living from your expertise, your knowledge, wisdom, or if you have a business where you sell products that customers actually find useful or valuable. And I am going to tell you, here's my promise to you at the end of this webinar today. I am going to give you the opportunity to book a call with me and have a personal conversation about your business. In that call, we're going to lay out a completely customized blueprint that will help you build the business of your dreams and beyond. And you may or may not be able to implement that blueprint on your own, and that's okay. I have a solution for you too. But here's what you're about to discover. We're going to talk about how I went from being a broke school teacher to helping businesses make millions and now have my own financial freedom. We're going to talk about the 5-step profit formula. I'm also going to share 3 money generating strategies because there are over 100 strategies that I use, but we're going to focus on the top 3 that produce the most value for my clients. Now, let me begin by asking you, friends, how many of you have ever had a dream? Well, I had a dream too. And my dream was to make the world a better place by teaching high school students about music. Well, I ended up losing my position due to some budget cuts. I was kind of getting burned out a little bit anyway. After that, I felt like I was stuck in purgatory, not able to change the world in the way that I wanted to. And I found myself working in financial services and realized I had an entrepreneurial spirit. My first business that I ever invented was a shoelace insurance company back when I was in middle school. Well, I wanted to help Des Moines remain a great place to live, but I realized that I could only do that by helping others. I was never taught how to run a business, though. I kind of thought, like many other businesses or business owners, that if you build it, they will come. Kind of like Field of Dreams, you know? Well, I found that wasn't the case with building a business. I struggled with my business until I started working with a coach. My coach, Wendy Cause, dramatically shifted the way that I looked at my business, the way that I was working on my business model. And it was because of her help that I learned and changed what I needed to do, and it revolutionized my business. Now, friends, I believe the turning point for me is going to be the same turning point for you as well. And that is finding a system, following a system, and using a coach. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the system that I found in a couple of moments. Today, I help hurried, worried, and buried business owners just like you 10x their business without the headaches, hangups, or hiccups. My work has helped companies save or make over $22 million in capital and expenses. I've been called the maestro of business and the Marcus Lemonis of Des Moines. You know, he's the business guru on CNBC's The Profit. I wrote this book about the system I use, detailing 8 strategies used by businesses just like yours to generate thousands of dollars in revenue. And in fact, you see here on the title of this book, $10,000 in 45 minutes. With the new proprietary software that I use with business owners, $10,000 is too little. I'm an award-winning, nationally recognized trainer. My contributions have appeared in national media, and my system has been featured nationally as well. Here are just a few of the businesses that I have worked with in the past. Now, I want to see our local neighborhoods and communities transformed, one business at a time. I want this transformation for Des Moines first, and then for the world. I'm in this to work with as many businesses as possible and make Des Moines the foremost economically viable, all-inclusive model. I can do my part by helping other business leaders fulfill their mission. This is what I attempt to do anytime I meet with a client, give a talk, or create educational materials for any business leader at any level. This is my mission. Now, if your mission includes anything about making our community better, then we could be friends. And if not, then I guess we'll have to find another way to be friends. So let's move on to the second item for today. Wouldn't it be nice if the steps that we take to build our business could actually be easy and automated? It's not quite how life works. Here's how you can simplify it. How many of you frequently feel overwhelmed in your business? If you're watching this live, if you're hopping on, go ahead and give me a 1 in the chat here and let me know that you frequently feel overwhelmed in your business too. Well, how many of you have heard of the 80-20 principle? Most business owners think they have to do everything. They have to do, like was just said a moment ago, the latest social media craze, advertising like in the old days in Yellow Pages, advertising on TV. There's so many marketing areas in business, and we're all told you have to do it just because some guru is saying you have to. Well, here's the truth about the 80-20 principle. There are only 5 areas in your business that you really need to focus on to make a difference. Those areas are leads, conversions, transactions, pricing, and profits. And once you focus on these areas, don't get me wrong, customer service is still as important as everything else you may be doing. However, 20% of what you do on a regular basis in these 5 areas is how you generate 80% of your revenue for your business. So when you focus on just these 5 areas, you are going to get significant growth and see the value in your business. Well, I'm going to tell you how you can get all the business you can handle, even if we're in a crisis. And I'm going to do this by focusing on just a handful of strategies in these 5 areas. I want to show you why these 5 areas are so critical. This is the profit growth calculator. This will demonstrate the compounding effects of focusing on the 5 areas of the 5-part profit formula. Now, do you happen to know how many leads and sales you've made over the last 12 months? And if you don't, that's okay. We're going to plug in some numbers for a make-believe business. So let's say that your business generated 1,000 leads in the past year, and your average conversion rate was 25%. Let's also say that your customers bought what you sell 10 times throughout the year, and they typically paid on average about $100 per purchase. And finally, let's say that your profit margin per sale is only 25%. Now notice at the bottom, you're earning $62,500 annually. Now, I don't know where you are in your business right now. I don't know if you're looking at $62,500 and you're thinking, that is such a drop in the bucket. That's just pocket change in my business. Or maybe you're looking at that number, $62,500 annually, and you're thinking, wow, that'd be really nice. I really don't know. I want to show you how important it is to understand how these 5 areas work together. Look at what happens here if we're able to increase each of these 5 areas by just 10%. You would see your annual profit almost double from $62,500 to over 6 figures. By the way, 10% increases is the ballpark that most business coaches play in. And there's nothing wrong with a 10% increase. Most business owners would kill to double their revenue. Wouldn't you agree? But watch what happens if you increase each of these areas by 50%. Your business would skyrocket from $62,500 to almost $500,000 annually. Now, you may be thinking 50% in each of these 5 areas would be next to impossible. Let me assure you, though, a 50% increase is child's play. And I'm going to prove that to you right now. I'm going to show you some of these strategies that will allow you to increase your business exponentially. So let's move on to those money generating strategies right now. Small business owners primarily focus on generating new leads. What I want to let you know, though, is on average, less than 1% of prospects are ready to buy from you right now. 99% of them are not ready to purchase on any given day, but many of them may be ready at some point in the future if you continue to nurture them on an ongoing basis. Unfortunately, the vast majority of small business owners rarely, if ever, follow up with their prospects after their initial contact with them. Now, if you were to research your industry, you wouldn't find very many businesses like yours that have in place what is referred to as a drip campaign. So why is that important? Well, listen to this very carefully. I mentioned this earlier, but I really want to reinforce it right now. Most businesses offer something that only appeals to prospects called now buyers, prospects that are ready to make an immediate purchase. Unfortunately, those now buyers make up less than 1% of the total number of prospects that are in the market to buy what you have to sell. 80% of all sales occur between the 5th and the 12th point of contact between the business and the prospect. 80%. Are you starting to see an opportunity here? This is where you need to implement a drip campaign. This is a strategy you can use that can add significant revenue to your business. A drip campaign automatically delivers a form of communication to customers or prospects on a predetermined and a scheduled basis. But here's the really cool part about this. Hopefully, you have a compelling offer that practically forces prospects to request it. Once you create your compelling offer, all you have to do is take specific segments from that offer and send it to your prospects on a regular, consistent basis. Let me show you an example of how this was done for a client that owned a sunroom company. When homeowners consider any kind of a remodeling project, whether it's their kitchen, an updated bathroom, or in this case, installing a sunroom, wouldn't they love to get their hands on what you might call an idea guide that features various models or state-of-the-art concepts? Well, you want to hear the sad part about an informational offer like that? Most prospects don't read it. They may request it with every intention of reading it, but only about 20% of them actually will. That's okay, though, because the idea guide has already done its job, which is to compel the prospect to give you their contact information so you can begin your 5 to 12 touch points with them. You simply use the information that's in the idea guide to do that quickly, efficiently, and inexpensively. Well, here's some examples for that sunroom company. And notice in the idea guide, it starts out by listing 7 benefits of owning a sunroom. Benefit number 1, enjoy the outdoors 365 days a year. Obviously, that's a huge reason someone would buy a sunroom. Unfortunately, 80% of prospects won't read that. So let's reintroduce that benefit in a drip campaign and drive it home to the prospect. This sunroom company did that by sending out a 6x11 oversized postcard, but they could have also done it through email as well. Here's the postcard they sent out that emphasized this benefit. And they could have done that with all 7 of the benefits that were included in their idea guide. Now, let me ask you something. Think about the revenue in your business. What's your annual revenue? If you could increase your business by just 10% by using this strategy, how much would that be for your business? Let's move on, though. Let's talk about a profit formula component. Obviously, there are 2 major ways to increase your overall profitability. You can increase revenue, or you can decrease your cost of doing business. Let's talk about increasing your revenue first of all. Here's a really simple strategy, which is just simply to raise your prices. Now, most small business owners have never raised their prices. That's because they don't know the facts when it comes to increasing their pricing. They are scared to death that any price increase, no matter how small, will lead to a mass exodus of all of their customers. But is that really true? Let me tell you a story. My wife's grandfather, I'm going to call him Grandpa Jack. Grandpa Jack built houses in southern Missouri. Now, he had this crazy theory about pricing his houses. He would set a price for a house after it was built to sell the house. And after a period of time, whatever he thought was reasonable, I don't recall, 2 weeks, whatever. If no one bought the house during that time, what would conventional wisdom say to you? What does every realtor say if the house doesn't sell on time? Well, you need to lower the price, right? Not Grandpa Jack. Grandpa Jack would actually raise the price of his house. Now, his theory was that by raising the price of the house, it would catch someone's attention. Someone, he said, is always watching the house, trying to decide, do I want to buy? Do I not want to buy? I think I'm ready to buy. And then when they see the price increase, then they get anxious and nervous and they think, oh no, there's a bidding war going on. If I want the house, I better get it right now. When he raised his price, I'll tell you, it never failed. The house always sold. Now, that was his theory. His theory was that there's some sucker out there watching and they think they have to jump on it. Here's my theory. My theory is that when Grandpa Jack would raise the price, he would end up crossing a price threshold. And it would attract the attention of someone who did not want to buy a house below a certain price threshold. But when he put his price above that price threshold, now he was the lowest price house in that price range that someone was looking at, and they would immediately jump on it. Now, either way, was he right? Was I right? I don't know. We may never know. But by raising prices, he was actually able to increase his business. Now, let me walk through some math with you about this. Let's look at a widget example. Let's say you sell a widget for $100 and you decide to increase that price by 10%. So you go from $100 to $110. Before, you were making $30 in profit on each widget. Now you're making $40 in profit on the widget. Will that small price increase really lead to a huge loss of customers? Honestly, a few may leave, but most likely they are your biggest price shoppers that show no loyalty or patronage to your business anyway. They're constantly beating you down price-wise every chance they get. They're constantly demanding discounts, and the moment you start to make a profit, they will leave you in a heartbeat for the next business who is willing to give them the discount that they want. But even if you do get some customer attrition, how much do you think it would be? Let's look at some other numbers. The business selling this widget is now making an additional $10, all of which is profit on their widget. Right there, that's a 33% increase in your profit. 10% of the original 30, 33%. So for this business to make $1,000 in profit when selling widgets at $100 each, they would need to sell 33 1/3 widgets. By increasing the price $10, they only need to sell 25 widgets. You can lose customers and still make money. So that means just to break even, this business would have to lose 25% of its customers over a measly 10% price increase. And that simply isn't going to happen. Now, of course, when you're thinking about raising your prices, you have to perform a thorough price analysis of your business and determine the most lucrative price increases for you. But this is definitely a recommended strategy all of my business clients use to help them increase revenue. And of course, if you're going to make a mistake, be cautious about it. Test the increases of your prices on a small scale to gauge the reaction of your customers. But I can tell you story after story after story about how customers didn't even notice for up to a whole year, even though the business owner had raised prices as much as 10 times. There is no faster or easier way to generate additional revenue than to simply raise your prices. So let's move on and then let's look at the other side of the equation, which is to decrease costs of doing business. Now, if you were to look at your expense sheet, there are some very high expenses on your expense sheet. One of the highest I dare say you have is probably around labor costs and employment. Now, before you get too upset, before you start to get your defenses going up, let me say, I am not about to tell you to fire all of your employees, not at all. What I'm saying is it stands out on your expense sheet. It's a place your eye is drawn to as a huge expense. And if you look at it, it is a huge expense. You've got salary, benefits, social security, taxes, unemployment insurance, workers' comp, on and on and on. All of that really adds up. But you have to have your team in order to grow your business, especially as some other strategies start to bring other business to you. No, here's my suggestion. There will be normal attrition in your business. Team members will leave. Consider this. What if, instead of hiring new personnel, consider offering an internship? Go to local community colleges, universities, and offer an internship for a semester or even up to a whole year to people who are seeking degrees or experience in your field. So maybe business administration, maybe marketing, maybe anything else, maybe in some of the trades, but offer some kind of an internship as an opportunity for them to get some real world experience. Schools love internships because it's a way that they can prove their value to the students. They can show that they're adding value to the educational offerings. It's great for the students because they get to build their portfolio and their resume. If they don't come working for you full time after they graduate and go somewhere else instead, you help give them a step up into their next career. Now, this doesn't have to be unpaid. Definitely, if you want to consider unpaid internships, my recommendation would be that you consult with an HR specialist. That is not me. Consider a paid internship to try to bring in the right kind of person. But even a paid internship is only going to end up being a fraction of all of those other costs of labor that I mentioned a little bit before. Again, now think about your business. Think about your annual revenue again. And if you were to increase your business by 10% using just these two strategies, how much additional money would that be in your business? Now, we've covered a lot of material today very quickly. I've tried to keep things moving along here for a reason. We've talked about how I went from being a broke school teacher to helping businesses make millions, and now I have my own freedom. So there are lessons that you can take away from my experience. We've talked about the 5-step profit formula, and I shared with you 3 money-generating strategies, only 3, because there are over 100 that I use when I work with businesses. When you add all of these up, you could see what we have conservatively uncovered in just less than 30 minutes. Now, keep in mind, this revenue that we found for you is not just a one-time increase. This revenue that will generate throughout your business year after year after year after year, as long as you diligently execute these strategies. So think about it from this perspective. If you generated, let's say you only found $10,000 today, think about that over the next 10 years. And what would that be worth to you in your business? But here's the really exciting news. All of this additional revenue that we've just discovered is just a drop in the bucket. And let me explain to you how. Do you remember when we started, I was telling you about the profit growth calculator and how if you increased each of these 5 profit formula areas just 10%, you would see your annual revenue almost double from $62,500 to over 6 figures. But if you could increase each of these areas by 50%, your business would skyrocket from $62,500 to almost $500,000 annually. Remember that most coaches work in that 10% range. And so to keep today's numbers conservative, I've asked you to think about what just a 10% increase in your business would do. 10%, however, is not the ballpark that I play in. I play in that 50% and higher ballpark, and I have done so for quite some time now. Now, can you imagine what your revenues would look like with 50% or higher increases in each of these areas? What could money like that do for your business? But personally, I think that all that additional revenue is secondary. There's really something far more important at stake here for you, isn't there? What could all that extra money do for you? Imagine having more time with family. Imagine having more time for vacations. Imagine being able to give more to charity. Or imagine being able to leave a legacy. When you execute each of these strategies that we've talked about today, you create a system for your business that will generate consistent, large numbers of leads, conversions, and sales on an ongoing basis. This systemization of your business creates a self-sustaining model that runs on its own without you having to be there yourself. This is where you start to gain not only economic freedom, but also freedom of time. Now, how many of you have learned something new or been reminded of something that you already knew? I want you to give yourself a hand. You have a choice now today, here, to cross a bridge or not. You can keep doing things the way you've always been doing them, hoping that one of those tactics that you've been wearing yourself out with in your business is going to pay off. You know what they say about that, though? Hope is not a strategy. Also, the definition of sanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. It comes down to, how do you want to get from where you are to where you want to be? Or if you're beyond burned out by that and you need to leverage a proven and powerful process to build the business of your dreams with the exact clients that you want to work with, bringing in $5, $10, $20, or $200,000 a month, and do it in a way that aligns with your core values, builds your community, and provides freedom for you, then here's what I have for you. You're here online with me right now. Obviously, you're interested in preserving your business for the future, making it grow regardless of any economic cycle, and taking care of your customers and employees. And you'll want to take advantage of this opportunity, because what this means for you is that you can stop chasing squirrels and shiny objects in business. You can stop wearing yourself thin with business tactics that don't really work. You'll have a step-by-step roadmap in hand with a complete action guide for the next 12 months. There won't be any guessing about what business building tactic is going to give you the best bang for the buck more. Now, why am I doing this? Your investment doesn't even come close to covering my cost to produce these items for you. First, I told you about my mission, how I want to strengthen these through stronger local businesses. Second, I'm good at this, and I love giving back. I love seeing business owners achieve their goals. Third, I only want to work with business owners who are talented, dedicated, and driven. I want to help them reach their higher goals. So here's what I'm offering you. I'm offering a 1-hour phone call with you. The value of this phone call is $497. During this phone call, we're going to create a step-by-step blueprint, which means that you can hit your income goal for your business. Now, that could be $5,000, $10,000 a month. It could be $20,000. It could be $200,000 a month. We're going to custom plan to attract the clients that you want to work with. And we're going to figure out your biggest business challenge. You're also going to get a customized business blueprint. Now, the value of this blueprint is I've set it at $2,997. I could find you 10,000, 100,000, $500,000. What's the real value of this customized business blueprint? Because you're different than the next business, we need to go into your business and we need to custom tailor a solution that's right for you and your business. So here's what we're going to do on the Zoom or on a phone call. We're going to create a completely customized business blueprint to help you achieve your goals. You're also going to get a mini course about how to use the blueprint. The value of this mini course is $1,497. That's where I've set the value. But again, if it helps you achieve $10,000, $50,000, what's the true value of this mini course? This mini course is going to walk you through how to use a customized roadmap, which means to you, you'll be able to refer back to that mini course over and over again so that you can do this for yourself. I'm also going to give you the actionable steps that you're going to need to start right now. And I guarantee it's going to be worth your time on that session. If all this session does is give you the necessary steps that it takes to get your business to $20,000 a month or whatever your income threshold is, how much would that be worth to you? You see, I personally paid my coach over $12,000 a year, where you can have this blueprint for only 97 bucks. And it doesn't even come close to covering my expenses. Now, why $97? I want to work with people who are actually going to show up motivated and really devote themselves to growing their business. It's related to the principle of money invested equals effort invested. People who are willing to invest in themselves and their business take their business more seriously and are more likely to implement the blueprint that we create together. Now, at this point, you're probably thinking to yourself, if this doesn't even cover your expenses, why are you doing this? Isn't there a catch? Yes, there is a catch. Here it is. You must have an actual business that provides an actually useful product or service to your community. Your community may be local. You define what community means to you, or it could be online. You can't just be in a position where you have an idea for a business or a network marketing business model. What I do doesn't work for you yet. You need to get a foundation in place. You have to have a passion about what you do and operate with the highest level of integrity. Providing valuable solutions to your clients so they want to do business with you long term has to be your number one priority. Now, you might want help transforming your business and implementing the blueprint. Go ahead, book a time with me. On that call, if you want to know about services and programs, I'd be happy to share them with you there. And if I can't help you, I'll let you know. This is not a sales call in any way, shape, or form. I am not going to ambush you with sleazy, hard sell sales tactics. My highest goal is your success. Either way, just having this call is going to give you much more clarity about your business than you've had in a long time. So here's what you should do. Go to the link that you see on this screen right now. Choose a time from my calendar that looks good for you. Don't linger over this decision because I can only open up so many of these appointments. And I really, really want to learn how I can help you achieve your goals. I've been doing this for long enough now that I know some of the questions people ask at this point. Let me address questions that might be going through your mind right now. You might be thinking to yourself, is the call really worth $97 to me? No. Actually, it's going to be worth a lot more. On our call, we're going to uncover financial opportunities in your business that will be worth thousands of dollars. Only will you get this audit of opportunity, you'll also get a detailed report of that opportunity in the form of a customized action, a blueprint for your business, the steps to take to move your business to a new level, along with a mini course you can refer to over and over so you can duplicate your results at will. And the question really is, can you afford not to do this session? You might also be wondering, does this call actually work? I have performed this type of audit with all kinds of businesses across multiple industries. I have never failed to find significant financial gain that makes $97 look like pocket change. You might also be thinking, Daniel, I've worked with other coaches and so-called experts in the past without results. That's unfortunate, but it's true. There are a lot of coaches and consultants out there who are not able to produce results. They just take their check and they say, see ya, good luck. Let me share with you what one of my clients had to say about me even before we began working together. She said, Daniel said more in 2 minutes than that big idea guy did in 4 years. Now you almost also thinking, can I do this? And honestly, that's up to you. Look, the process is proven and the system is available. The only variable in this equation is you. What are you willing to put in? I promise that if you do your part, I will guide you the entire way. Finally, I will guarantee that if you don't receive at least $100 worth of value for the call, I will double your money back. So again, here's what you get. You get the one-on-one profit acceleration audit, that phone call with me, valued at $497. You get the customized blueprint valued at $2,997. And you get that mini course valued at $1,497. You also get a double your money back guarantee if you feel that I have wasted your time. Just $97 is the investment. So do it now. I want to thank you for being here with me today. I hope you've gotten a lot of value. I urge you to implement what you've just learned today on this webinar. And I'm really, really looking forward to our blueprint call together. I cannot wait to see what we'll accomplish together to your success. Have a great day.